So, guys, I want to be able to talk about something, a huge opportunity for you, one that I have incentive to tell you about and incentive not to tell you about, and I'll explain that. And it's the price of Vitreous, something I haven't been able to talk about, and what could affect the price in a positive way or in a negative way. Basically, all of the revenue, 3% is going to be shared to all the holders through a staking program called Vitreous Incentive Program. And what that is it's something that you stake in for a year and you get 3% of whatever their revenue is. It's only the people that stake for a year. So if you're the only person staking, just you, whatever the 3% comes out to is what you're going to get. So if 3% of their revenue, say, is $1 million, then you, because you're the only one in there, are going to get that $1 million. Now, if two people are staking and your bag values are equal to each other's, then you're going to split that $1 million. He's going to get $500,000. But it's only to the people that are staking. So it rewards the people that believe in the long-term vision of the project, instead of like most projects where the people that hold the longest usually end up being the ones that are screwed the most. Where this gets amazing, and I've talked about this, is the opportunity of the pre-sale. It hurts me to tell you about this because the more people that get in the pre-sale, the less that I and other people in the pre-sale are going to get of the revenue in the future. But what they're doing right now is huge incentive. It's actually crazy. I think about this. I'm like, I can't believe they're doing this. And I wonder if they regret doing this because it's a massive incentive to not only get in the pre-sale, but to never sell your pre-sale tokens. You can if you want. You can sell whenever you want. But there's just such a massive incentive not to. That the 3% staking program, that's open and available to anybody. Anybody can come in there and say, oh, I've got a lot more money than you guys, and so I'm going to put in a lot more tokens. I'm going to drop $500,000 worth of Vitreous, stake that for that year, and then I'm going to get a bigger portion of the rewards. Anybody can do that. And that's good because if that happens, guess what that does? That causes the price to go up. If the revenue does well, it creates a reason to have a high demand in order to stake the token, which creates not only buy pressure, but holding pressure as well. So that creates this dream scenario. It's all dependent on whether or not Vitreous, what they're aiming to do, is going to generate revenue or not. That's the key factor. Is if this generates revenue, it's naturally going to cause the rewards to be good. People who want the rewards are going to cause the price to increase because not only will holders be wanting to buy to get a part of this 3%, but whales will also be wanting to buy large portions of money to get a percentage of that revenue, especially if they do well. Where this is insane, where this entire opportunity is insane, like that's all amazing in itself. The 2% pre-sale, nobody can ever add to this. This is the VIP preferred. This 3% is the VIP, 2% VIP preferred. Basically, these people would be sharing $1 million if that was what the 3% of the revenue was. And these people would be sharing a little less than $1 million. They'd be sharing like 700,000 or something. But it would only ever be between the people who did the pre-sale. And so let's just say we get 100 people who do the pre-sale. Let's just say there is a dump at the launch. And let's just say 90 of those 100 people get out. Well, now, if 90 people dump, 10 people will be left. And they can share those rewards, that 2% forever. They will share it forever, no matter how much and no matter how high the revenue gets. If it gets to if this 2% comes out to like 10 million because their revenue is so high and they have to share that 10 million because they said they were going to, then only whoever's left is going to get it. And so if it's 10 people, those are going to be the only people left splitting that 2%. So the opportunity for Vitreous to be in the pre-sale, because once the pre-sale ends and you go to the public, this opportunity is gone forever. You will then be left with still a good opportunity with Vitreous as far as buying a bag. I still think even if you're not doing the Vitreous incentive program, I believe if their revenue does well, it's all dependent on their revenue. If it doesn't, then all of this goes to hell and it means nothing, right? It's all based on if their revenue does well. They don't even have to be making a profit, but if they're pulling in a lot of revenue, then they're sharing 5% of that revenue. 3% to the VIP program and 2% to the VIPP. If you're in the VIPP, you're also getting the VIP. So you're getting a 2% and the 3%. It just depends on the amount of tokens you have staked versus all the amount of tokens that are being staked. The portion that you have versus the portion that everybody else has that's being staked. And the VIP preferred, the pre-sale is the only time that you can basically increase the amount that you have for that portion of that 2% revenue of whatever that might be. If you sell, you can never get back into this. You can never sell below the initial amount. So say you put $1,000 worth of Vitreous into the pre-sale. If you ever sold to 999, you would be removed from VIP preferred. You could buy tokens on top of that. You could buy 2,000 and then you could sell 1,000 and still be at 1,000, and you're not going to lose your VIP preferred. But you have to stay above that initial amount, and you will never lose the VIP preferred. So what this could turn out to be is that if the company does well, that's what all this is based on, is they're completing compliance software using AI technology, blockchain technology, patenting what's called an agent model that uses a ton of different services that are used for compliance, and using AI and blockchain for storage and for the technology that to go through basically compliance, which costs companies a lot of money. It'll be able to constantly update companies on what's going on, save them money, and do it very quickly. And they can run any document through their compliance software. It'll, to the line, to the T, it'll be able to tell them whether they're in compliance or not. It'll save their own company. Collaborative Wealth is the company that they're going to be using it on first, and then they're going to bring it to the rest of market. This is all happening next year when the bull run is supposed to be happening. If the revenue does well, not even the profit, as long as there's high revenue, that's going to put demand on the Vitreous token. That's going to put high demand on the ability to get the tokens to stake in order to get those rewards. Because even if you don't do the 2% and you only did the 3%, as long as you're one of the people who've been staking that whole year, you're going to get a percentage of that revenue. People aren't going to be able to come in and fight for it until they hit that year mark. So it's amazing to have. But the opportunity here is that if Vitreous does well and the VIP does well, the VIP preferred, the pre-sellers, are going to do better than everybody, and they never had to sell a token. They would never have to sell a single token. Now, you can do whatever you want. You can buy, you can sell, you can just completely ignore this. I have two incentives here, and one is that I have an affiliate link. So if you use my link, I get 10% of whatever you put in. You buy 1,000, and then I get $100. And so there's my incentive for doing this. One of my incentives. My other incentive is that I like to give early warnings about things that I think help people make money, whether it be good or bad. So I like to look back and say, hey, I warned people about this, and whether it be bad or good. That's another incentive that I have to do this. The incentive I have to not do this is that the more people that get in, the less that I get. So there's my bag, CC, out of the 2% rewards, out of all their revenue in the future. And the numbers get insane. We looked at some of those numbers. If they became widely adopted, like if they got dominance in the market, and most companies were using them, that you could end up potentially being a millionaire just from being in the VIP preferred, and probably with opportunities to sell your bag as well, which is why me personally, if you believe in what Vitreous is doing and you're willing to risk your money on it, then I personally think that you want to approach it in two ways. And the two best ways, if you believe in what they're doing, is to do the pre-sale. You can use my link. If you don't want to use my link, you don't have to. But if you do, I get a percentage. It doesn't pull away from you at all. The team's the one that takes the hit. The pre-sale for the VIP preferred for the revenue. And I would also look at buying after launch. If it dips, I don't know if this one's going to dip. There is heavy incentive to not sell your VIP preferred. And it's actually, if you're in the pre-sale, if people sell, it's what you want. If you believe in this project, you want people to sell the pre-sale for two reasons. One, you will never have to compete with them in this 2% again. They're gone forever. Every pre-seller who sells is now forfeiting eternally what they would have gotten out of that 2%, and everybody else who holds in that 2% is going to get what they got. I would also say that buying a bag, whether you're waiting for a dip or you buy at launch or you just buy a separate bag for taking profits, because if the revenue does well, the rewards, the 3% rewards are going to be high, and people are going to be wanting to buy the rewards. People are going to be wanting to buy Vitreous, in order to stake, and people are going to be buying Vitreous out of FOMO because they know that people are going to be buying to want to stake. So there's going to be multiple reasons why people want to buy Vitreous, for the staking and for the FOMO, and so it has this potential for massive price increase. It really does. The potential is there. All that needs to happen is something that's actually not associated with the price. You don't need a bunch of people to get crazy about Vitreous being the next big thing. You don't need this FOMO to take Vitreous to the next level. All you need is their software compliance that they're making, compliance software, to save companies money and time, and be adopted. And then the revenue is high. Completely separate from the price, the success of the token is based on whether or not the product they're creating is successful or not. And they're targeting the energy industry and the finance industry. And so if you want to buy right now, I have a link down right now. You guys can use that link and I'll get 10%. And you'll get the same amount either way. It doesn't change anything. It'll just be supporting me for telling you about this. And it's an easy way to support me. They also take like a bunch of different services. So there's all these different services as far as data storage, as far as compliance, as far as paying compliance officers, because they have their own for their own company. They're literally solving the problem for their own company using AI technology, blockchain technology, creating a model around that called the agent model, patenting that, and then bringing it to other markets, getting sales team together, bringing it to other companies saying, we can save you this much money. And I think the average price that it would be looking at would be like 45K, I think is what they say, because companies spend so much money on compliance that theirs would be cheaper and faster. And so they'd be paying 45K. So the more companies they onboard, the more likely the other companies are being willing to onboard. It'll be the first ones that might be kind of hard to get going. But after that, they get that momentum. The revenue gets high. If the revenue gets high, the rewards get high. If the rewards get high, the demand for the token gets high. The price goes up. The rewards are insane for the 2%, the 3%, and the ability to sell the token. This is only a company that I'm actually excited about right now. They're working on the projects right now. The validity of the professionalism behind the company is something that I've never seen in the crypto space. It separates itself, sets itself apart from almost 99% of all the projects, because most projects are a couple guys who get together who are just trying to scam you or have stupid ideas or bad devs. And this is like a professional team that already has a successful business that is teaming up with people in the government. They're onboarding the top people. And so it's just like a dream come true. I'm not saying it will come true. If it doesn't work, if there's issues that they run into, then the revenue's not there, the price isn't there, it's a risk. I can't bring 100% guaranteed things to you. I can only bring opportunities. And with those opportunities, we have the opportunity to make money. So if you guys want to buy, it's very easy. You just need ETH or USDC. You send it to the contract. I have a link below. It'll send you an NFT back. And then at launch, you'll get your Vitreous tokens and you'll be able to stake them in the VIP and the VIP preferred. And you'll also, like I said, have an opportunity, if you believe in what they're doing, to buy if the price goes down. And this is the first pre-sale that I've seen that actually has incentive for there not to be a sell-off at the launch because of that 2%. As long as those pre-sellers know, I'm giving up this 2% forever. And there might be some, right? But that's okay. And if you believe in the future of the project, that's a good thing for the pre-sellers to sell, because then if you're in the pre-sale, you don't have to fight that whale or whoever it is that sold for that 2%, and nobody else can get in that 2% again. That has the potential to be life-changing money based off never selling your tokens. But you also, like I said, I would really play this both ways. After the launch, I would also look, me personally, at buying more if there is a dip. If there's not a dip, a dip at the launch, then I would still be looking at buying more because of that opportunity of what's going to happen. Now, there is a time frame to when things get rolling. It might take a while to get rolling, so you have to keep that in mind as well. Maybe the price does go up a little bit from the people buying after the pre-sale. I don't know how much people's understanding of this and the FOMO will kick in to cause the price to go up or down, because it might take a little while for them to start onboarding companies. This might be a little bit of a longer term hold as far as the rewards go, but as far as the opportunities to make money off of buying and selling and trading this, I think there's going to be opportunities in the beginning after launch, and I think there's going to definitely be a massive opportunity if they start onboarding companies. I'll see you guys in the next video.